Jimmy Mbogo, KTN News.
All right, now to our discussion of the day, we are talking all Insurtchs. It's a very new word. And with me, we have Elias Omondi, who is a Senior Manager, Risk Regulations, FSD Africa. And FSD means Financial Sector Deepening Africa. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, now let's get right into the conversation. First of all, when you talk about Insurtchs, what do we exactly mean? Insurtech, first of all.
Right, so Insurtech basically means insurance and technology, and this is because there are a lot of challenges that are facing the insurance sector, particularly issues around accessibility to products that will provide resilience to various communities and businesses. At the same time, we are looking at providing these particular products at an affordable rate, and that requires a lot of technology. So Insurtech basically is an ecosystem of innovators that kind of come in to provide solutions within the insurance space to address these challenges of accessibility to affordable products, and also enabling these particular communities and people that are highly exposed to various risks to get rightful solutions to these particular problems. Yeah.
And even speaking about availability, what are some of the opportunities that are available that can be even just tapped into when we look at Insurtechs?
Yeah, so if you look at the current insurance landscape in Kenya, currently we are talking about 2.24% of insurance penetration. That basically means that there are so many people across the country that are still in need of these particular products. There are so many people that are still underserved within the insurance space, and that basically creates an opportunity for the young people and innovators to come kind and tap into this particular gap. And with that, then it means that by providing these particular solutions, we are going to provide more opportunities to our youth, because that is one of the key components that we need to give them an opportunity to explore the insurance space, which has been unexplored for the longest time possible. We've not seen a lot of digital innovations within the insurance space, and that basically gives an opportunity for our youth to explore this particular wide market that needs to be tapped in. So I believe that if we can get more innovators, particularly young people, coming into this particular space to provide these particular solutions. At the same time, if you look at the median age in Kenya, we are talking about a very youthful median age. That means that the products that need to be created should reflect the youthness in basically providing for these particular young people in our societies. And that's an opportunity for our youth to come in, provide digital technologies to support the insurance space, but also to create relevant products that are relevant to their needs. Yeah.
And speaking about youth, what are some of the sectors that can be explored with regards to now this kind of the business world that we are in? Everyone is getting into the digital space. So now, what are some of the sectors that you think have maybe not been explored?
Yeah, so I'll kind of step back a bit and look at the vulnerability in the society. We are talking about issues around climate change. We are talking about issues around SMEs requiring relevant solutions. We are talking about issues around health. And that basically provides a very huge opportunity for our youth, particularly when we talk about creating solutions that are going to support or resolve issues around climate vulnerability. This requires technologies. And further than that, we knew, and all of us know, that COVID pandemic kind of also created a huge gap that we needed to close in terms of really providing relevant solutions. So having that in mind and looking at multi-hazard components that we've seen across this particular continent, then it basically means that we need to provide our solutions within the financial sector, because most of the time we look at these particular challenges from the environmental perspective, from the health perspective, from the business perspective, but all these kind of culminate within the financial sector. And that's why we really need to provide solutions that are going to expedite access to solutions within the financial space, and that's one of the opportunities I see youths coming in and tapping in. We need to create a strong, fair, and an accessible financial system that is able to create a sustainable future. And from the FSD Africa's perspective, that is what we are trying to create. We are trying to enable this particular young people to come within the financial space, the financial sector, that is still quite untapped in terms of providing relevant solutions. And that basically gives us an opportunity to change the financial landscape and provide these relevant solutions. Yeah.
And now, even as you have rightly put it, when you look at the landscape, the business landscape, especially for the young people, getting finances is usually a problem, especially when you are starting up. And now, even as you expand as FSD, what are you looking at in terms of reaching out to every person in Kenya, first of all, and even outside Kenya? Because I believe you've expanded to Ghana, Nigeria. So just explain to us about this.
Yeah, and that's a very good question in terms of the challenges. Yeah, you kind of mentioned one of the challenges that we are trying to really resolve, providing catalytic funding that will enable scaling of these particular solutions. But let me just step back a bit. There are a number of challenges within a number of programs that we are trying to solve. So for instance, we talk about technical skills. These young people need to get rightful knowledge that will enable them to provide relevant products. Because if you look at the insurance space, if you look at around the financial sector, this requires us to create a great opportunity for them to create needful and rightful products. So we need to provide them with technical skills, and technical skills is one of the challenges. The second thing is around regulations. Financial sector has very big barriers to entry. And one of the key things that we've kind of learned over time through a number of programs that we've initiated within Kenya and even beyond Kenya is that we need to provide what we call regulatory clarity in terms of basically these young people understanding what requirements they need to adhere to from the government side, for them to really be given an opportunity to create these particular products. And lastly is the funding. So we did create a program that basically started here in Kenya in 2020, which we call the Bima Lab Insurtchs Accelerator Program, that enables these particular innovators to be provided with technical skills, enable them to create their innovations into more relevant solutions, in basically turning their solutions into valid insurance solutions, at the same time interacting with the government within the policymakers environment, whereby we also had to work with the insurance regulator here in Kenya, the Insurance Regulatory Authority, to give them an opportunity to understand these relevant regulations and laws. And also within that, then we provided them with catalytic capital to enable them scale this particular solution. So one of the key things is that we want to enable our environment, our solutions, and even these particular young people to come into this particular space by addressing these key solutions at these particular key challenges. At the end of the day, how then do you ensure that they get strategic partnerships for their products? How then do we ensure that they get proper funding to enable them scale? And I'll give you examples. We kind of accelerated the likes of Lami, which is a big insurtech here in Kenya, the likes of Turaco, which is a big insurtech here in Kenya, just to get into that particular space. And they're doing a lot of work by really addressing some of the challenges that we are facing in this country. So I believe as FSD Africa, with one key component of enabling a sustainable future within the financial system, we are going to continue doing this work, even to push the insurance penetration that is quite low here in this particular country.
Yes, rightly said. And as we even close the conversation, going forward, when you look at Insurtchs, the whole idea, by the time in the coming months, are we as a country going to be embracing this? Is it a way that is going to really improve digital ways of doing business? What do you see in the coming future?
You know, in the coming future, the business models are changing. The customer preferences are changing. So that basically provides us with an opportunity, particularly for the Insurtchs, to move into that particular space. If you look at what a customer required yesterday and what a customer require in future, we'll kind of move with the changes in the environment, with the changes within the ecosystem. And that basically gives all the Insurtchs an opportunity to come into that particular space. We need to provide insurance business models that are going to help in cost saving. And that's one of the key components that Insurtchs kind of come to reduce that particular gap, that intermediary gap that we have seen within the insurance space that kind of increases cost. And within that, then we'll ensure that our products are more affordable. We create solutions that are more reflective to the needs of our people, and also just build a very resilient economy within this particular country.
All right, thank you so much, Elias Omondi from FSD Africa, and he's the Senior Manager, Risk Regulations. And we've understood the whole conversation when it comes to Insurtchs, and I believe you've understood something. And make sure that at least if you're a business, try this platform, and it will help you move forward even into the digital world that we are moving into. All right, we've come to the end of Business Cafe this morning. My name is Kelvin Nyakundi. Yanaya Jiri coming up next.